If you are traveling to Bacolod, Bohol, or Tacloban as a domestic traveler coming from any part of the country, then these are the domestic travel requirements that you need to prepare as of October 2021. Stay tuned and watch the video to know more. Welcome to DenZ TV. Please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you receive updates as they are posted. Let's discuss the domestic travel requirements for Bacolod. All guests bound for Bacolod City are required to present the following documents upon check-in for locally stranded individuals or LSI, returning residents, returning overseas Filipinos, and authorized persons outside residence or APUR from the private sector. Negative RT-PCR swab test result from a DOH-accredited laboratory or a negative saliva RT-PCR test result from Philippine Red Cross only, taken within 72 hours before arrival in Bacolod City. A digital or printed copy of the approved travel coordination permit issued by the SPAS Travel Management System. And please start working on this at least 3 days before the flight to give enough time to secure the requirements to get a TCP and for the LGU to review them and provide a TCP. Backtrack registration, health declaration form, and a valid ID. The links are available in the description below. For government APURs, please present a valid ID issued by the respective government agency. An original or certified true copy of the travel authority or travel order issued by the department secretary or his or her designated official, and also pass symptom screening upon arrival. Now let's proceed to the requirements for Bohol via Tagbilaran City. For guests flying from Manila to Bohol, please present the following travel document requirements to be accepted for flight. A negative RT-PCR swab test result from a DOH-accredited laboratory or a negative saliva RT-PCR test result from Philippine Red Cross. The test must be conducted within 72 hours before departure. Children who are 4 years old and below are exempted from this requirement. Guests whose RT-PCR tests have expired or have lapsed the validity for not more than 7 days may present a rapid antigen test conducted within 24 hours before departure. Expired RT-PCR tests must still be presented for validation. Approved Travel Coordination Permit or TCP from SPAS, and guests who have recovered from COVID-19 may present a certification from a licensed physician indicating that the guest has clinically recovered together with the positive RT-PCR test result and SPAS registration. Let's now proceed to the requirements for Tacloban. The City of Tacloban requires all arriving guests to present the following documents to be accepted for flight. Guests with Tacloban City as their final destination are required to present an acceptance certificate upon check-in. Register to the Balik Tacloban project online through the Tacloban Safe City mobile app or by calling any of the following hotline numbers. To secure an acceptance certificate, these are the required documents. Let's start with the locally stranded individuals or LSIs. A valid government-issued ID, a barangay certificate from place of origin attesting that the bearer is neither a probable, suspected, nor confirmed COVID-19 patient, a negative RT-PCR swab test result conducted within 48 hours prior to arrival, or if you are fully vaccinated, you can forgo with the test requirement and present your COVID-19 domestic vaccination card or certificate of quarantine completion with vaccination status for fully vaccinated guests. Authorized persons outside of residence or APUR should submit the following requirements to secure an acceptance certificate: company ID or certificate of employment, travel order, a negative RT-PCR swab test result, or if you are fully vaccinated, submit your COVID-19 domestic vaccination card or certificate of quarantine completion with vaccination status. Returning overseas Filipinos or ROFs, including overseas Filipino workers, should submit the following requirements to get an acceptance certificate: a Bureau of Quarantine certificate or clearance that says the bearer completed 10 days of quarantine and the negative RT-PCR swab test result taken during quarantine period, and a government-issued ID. These documents will be processed within 3 working days from the day of submission. Please wait for the acceptance letter with Tacloban City QR code and keep a printed or digital copy of this. Guests with incomplete documents will be required to undergo a 10-day quarantine, and guests without a negative RT-PCR swab test result before the flight will be tested upon arrival and must quarantine while waiting for the result. All guests bound for Calbayog City, Catbalogan City, and municipalities in Samar Province are not required to present a negative RT-PCR swab test result upon check-in. And those are the domestic travel requirements for Bacolod, Bohol, and Tacloban for October 2021. Thank you so much for watching. If you find the content of this channel valuable, remember to subscribe. Feel free to check out the other videos as well.